could be the motive behind the allegations? Let's get on point with Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro. Good evening, ma'am, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, good evening, Willard, and good evening to all our viewers watching your show today.
Let me begin by asking you, were you still shocked at all by the press conference of these 18 alleged ex-Marines?
Never at all. Never at all. If
Why-
we can trace the people behind this, they keep on doing that. They keep on making up stories. So I will only be talking about the presidents. I will not be talking about anything else. I will only be talking about the president's alleged role in these statements that made by the ex-men, or rather ex-Marines. Okay? So we know that they keep on doing that. They keep on attacking the president. For what reason? We can see now that it seems that Mike Defensor even revealed himself to be part of this. So Mike Defensor has been talking about the plans of removing the president from the position, to grab the power from the president, and to install the vice president to presidency, even before the end of 2028. So we're not shocked at all.
Oh, ma'am, you used the word they. So aside from former Congressman and Secretary Mike Defensor, who else would be behind this?
Well, it is up to you, Willard. Let's us practice our skills as an investigative reporter.
Is he the same operator that you referred to during today's press conference, ma'am? Or is it another person?
No, I was referring that fetch the 18 ex-Marines. Actually, 4 of them are not part of the Marines. 4 of them are not part of the Marines. So, well, you can ask Mike Defensor, who is the owner of that vehicle that fetched these people after the press briefing or press con.
Oh. And what does the palace plan to do about this information, ma'am?
Again.
What does the palace plan to do on this information, ma'am, that you received?
We will just keep on monitoring, but I believe NBI director already made a statement that he will be running after the fake news peddlers or those people spreading fake news, especially if it will affect the government and the institution.
The Office of the Ombudsman, ma'am, has received their joint affidavit, but the Office of the Ombudsman saying that it has yet to proceed with formal proceedings because the affidavit is not equivalent to a verified complaint. Do you think their allegations deserve to be investigated by any body?
Well, they are putting up some issues, raising up some issues. They should be investigated in a way so that the investigating body could also determine if they are just telling falsehoods. So they can be investigated just to tell to our kababayan, to our fellow Filipinos, that they are just making up stories. Remember, Attorney, I would like to mention this. Attorney Baligot, I think already admitted that they included the name of Congressman De Lima, but it's not true. So there was just a mistake. So kung may mali na sila, sa lahat ng tao pwede nang ilalagay nila dyan. Medyo nabisto lang sila dito kasi obvious.
May utos na ho ba, ma'am, ang Pangulo tungkol dito sa Department of Justice at sa NBI?
Wala. What I have said is that it is the mandate of the NBI, even the PNP, and also the DOJ to investigate those people spreading fake news, especially it will affect the government and the institution.
What do you think, ma'am, and can you please elaborate on what you think is their motive? Senator Antonio Trillanes saying that the motive and the end goal could be for the ICC to have a mistrial, especially since these men claim to have distributed money intended for the investigators over at the International Criminal Court.
But I also heard, Willard, that Attorney Baligod denied knowing anything if money was really distributed or given to the members of the ICC. What I've heard is that they just gave money to Senator Trillanes, which was already denied by Senator Trillanes. So with regard to the integrity of ICC, well, I do not really want to comment on that because what I am here for is for the president to deny all the allegations against him. But that the timing of ruining the integrity of ICC is very timely. The timing speaks for itself.
Especially since the press conference was held, no, as the confirmation of charges hearing was underway at The Hague.
Mhm. Yes. Third day na.
Hmm.
So if they have this information even before, they should have revealed that or divulged that prior to this. But the timing really will speak for itself.
May intelligence ho ba, ma'am, ang palasyo kung ano ang susunod na hakbang ng grupo na ito? May batch 2 daw supposedly na mga allegations.
Whatever it is, if they are just making up stories, it would be impossible for them to prove anything. So mahirap kasi malalaman din naman natin if they are just making up stories, if they are just making fake pieces of evidence. Mga documents, mga pictures, ang bilis malaman kung lahat yan ay fake.
At ang
Sabi nga natin, even during the press con, there is this observation that whenever one witness or one of the ex-Marines will be asked, if that person does not know the answer, he will just pass the mic. Diba parang, wow, hindi ko to alam, ikaw na. O ikaw na. Parang iba-iba yung assigned na issues sa kanila. Sa pag di alam ng isa, yung isa naman. So sabi nga natin, if we would like to scrutinize the demeanor of these people, we can say that they're not telling the truth.
Yan din ho ba ang sagot ninyo sa hamon ni former Congressman Mike Defensor na doon sa mga nagsasabi daw na kasinungalingan ang kanilang sinabi ay itest daw ang kanilang mga claims under oath sa isang bukas at formal investigation?
Nagsabi na nga si Atty. Baligod, nagkamali sila kay Congresswoman De Lima. Hindi pa ba yon paninirang puri? Hindi ba yon fake news? Isa pa lang yon. So, hinahamon natin si Mike Defensor, paano to? Yung ginawa niyong kwento laban kay De Lima. O di ba nakakahiya na yon? Isa pa lang yan.
We'll just take a short break. We'll continue our discussion with Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro when we return. Stay tuned. This is On Point. Welcome back and still with us, Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro. Ma'am, tungo naman tayo doon sa mga nangyayari sa The Hague. Ano po ang assessment ninyo sa takbo ng confirmation of charges hearing? Napakinggan na po natin ang prosekusyon at nagsimula na ang depensa. Tingin niyo ho ba ay mako-confirm ang charges at mauuwi ito sa full-blown trial?
Ang hirap magsalita, Willard, no? Kasi hindi naman tayo yung just doon, no? Pero if you will make a summary of this, ngayon, yung kay Atty. Kaufman, ako from my own point of view as a lawyer, ang ginagawa lang ngayon ni Atty. Kaufman as far as what he said, no, and what I've heard, ginigiba niya lang, no, ginigiba niya lang yung mga sinabi ng prosecution. Wala pa tayong nakikitang ebidensya sa kanya maliban doon sa mismong mga sinabi ng prosecution, hindi ito tama. One example, Willard, sinabi niya na ang arrest, or rather, the word neutralize, it means arrest. It doesn't mean automatically to kill. Diba? They will only be parang forced to kill somebody, to kill the suspect, if he resisted. And maybe he used force. So as part of self-defense, papatayin niya. So yun yung isa sa mga nakita natin kung magiginigiba niya lang. Pero to the point na sasabihin niya hindi nangyari yung patayan kay Mayor Espinosa, that former President Duterte was not involved in the killing of the Parahinog, di ko pa siya nadidinay. Basta more on the ginigiba niya lang muna yung mga sinabi ng prosecution. As far as the prosecution naman is concerned, ang nakikita natin kasi meron silang hawak na ebidensya. May hawak sila kasing mga witnesses na magpapatunay na may totoong patayan. Witnesses na masasabing yung pagbarel ay close range. Hindi really for a self-defense. Parang when you say ang tama ng barel is close range, parang hindi siya masasabi na self-defense. Bakit tama ulo? Parang may mga gano'n. So, tingnan lang natin. I cannot make any judgment on that. It depends upon the judges ng ICC.
Needless to say, ma'am, as a Palace Press Officer, you are part of the President's communications team. Let me get your insights on this. Gaano kabigat na gamiting ebidensya ang pananalita ng isang Pangulo? Dahil doon po tumutungo ang argumento ng prosekusyon at tinitibag naman ng depensa.
Yes. Kasi sa trial, ang admission, voluntary admission, nagagamit yan sa korte. Kasi voluntary yun. Wala ka naman sa custodial investigation. So pag ginawa mo yan, magagamit siya sa'yo. Pero yung tao na nakapakinig doon, he should be at least cross-examined. Diba? I-verify yan, i-vet yan. Ang medyo nakikita ko yung punto rito, nitong si Kaufman, no, sinabi niya na you cannot correlate the mere speeches kasi pwede siyang political hyperbole, exaggeration lang para ikaw ay naman pakatakutan. So dapat i-connect talaga ng prosecution itong speeches doon sa patayan. Let's say, itong 32, ito I think na-connect nila to. 32 deaths in Bulacan. Meron talaga nangyari. Under the leadership of Karamat. General, I forgot kung anong rank niya. Karamat. It was in the news. It's part of the news. 32 deaths in one day in Bulacan. And it was even commended by the president. So, dapat matanong dito, ano ginawa mo? Pumatay ng 32. Nasampan ba ito ng kaso o asing wala lang? Kasi, even you are in an operation, police operation, kapag ikaw ay pumatay and your defense is just self-defense, cases should still be filed against these police officers. And then they will just have to take that used as the defense na we were forced to fight because ang buhay namin yung nakataya. So we were forced to fight and we were compelled to kill the suspect or suspects. So pero ganon 32 ito, and then after that the president commended the works of Karamat, and then he even said na sana 32 per day. 'Di ba? So medyo na connect 'yon. And tingin ko baka mahirapan si Kaufman. For me, my analysis, yung mga statements ni dating Pangulong Duterte which were made under oath before the House of Representatives and before the Senate. Kasi under oath yun eh. Hindi mo pwede sabihin hyperbole lang yun. Or exaggeration yun. So, before the investigating bodies like the Senate, like the Congress, in aid of legislation, it's under oath. It was done under oath. So, magagamit yun. So, it's for Attorney Kaufman how to debunk those statements.
And in the middle of all these proceedings, ma'am, muling napag-uusapan yung proposals to rejoin the ICC ng Pilipinas. Napag-aaralan na ba ito o napag-uusapan sa Malacanang?
Sa ngayon talaga hindi pa, Willard eh. Kasi ang focus ni Pangulo, kung mapapansin mo, ang dami niyang pinuntahan niya kanina yung sa Cebu, yung mga kababayan natin dyan, mapaayos kapag kami kalimidad, ready ang Pilipinas, ready ang gobyerno natin. So hindi po talaga napag-uusapan ang ICC. Siguro maybe one of the meetings that I will be having with the president, I will try to ask him about this. Kasi huli na yung usapan talagang wala eh. Hindi niya priority. Hindi priority eh.
With that, Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Willard. It's my honor.
And that's On Point. Join us again tomorrow at 7:30